Gerry Dulac covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and kind enough to join us. Gerry, thanks for joining us. What was the reaction when you found out that the Steelers are going to face a team probably with their third-string running back?
Well, I will tell you this, Dan, and good morning, that even yesterday when they held their walkthrough with the idea that Dobbins and Mark Ingram might play, they didn't alter their approach or their plan or anything else. They have the same plan going in for Gus Edwards, and RG3 as they would for Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins and or Mark Ingram. So it doesn't affect them one way or the other. It probably benefits them that J.K. Dobbins isn't playing. But they're very much aware of what happened last year in the season finale when RG3 played and Gus Edwards, and the Ravens still ran for 203 yards. And one thing they do know that they want to do or have to do is change their scheme, how they defend the Ravens, because in the last three games, the numbers like 811 yards the Ravens have rushed for against the Steelers, including that 265 a month ago. So that's what they know they have to change. But the personnel isn't going to dictate to them how they are going to defend the Ravens.
I had a source earlier in the week saying that John Harbaugh was being a hypocrite, that they created this. Now they're saying that they're being persecuted, picked on here. I'm just wondering about the Steelers side of this, because it feels like the Steelers are the ones who didn't do anything wrong, but they're the ones being punished to a certain degree. How are the Steelers reacting to this?
Well, other than the game being the Thanksgiving game being canceled and some of their young guys coming out and saying that's BS and then using the full word and then saying it's a joke, Juju Smith-Schuster coming out and saying, if the Ravens can't control their COVID situation, that should be on them. Forgetting the fact that 2 weeks earlier, the Steelers had 5 guys on the list, including Ben Roethlisberger, but the timing benefited them because they could come off on Saturday and play on Sunday. Beyond that, I think Mike Tomlin's directive to them is as always, is just, hey, look, just keep the focus, stay on the path we're on, and if anything, maybe they're getting a little antsy, but. Hey, look, the same complaints are coming out of Pittsburgh, not necessarily from the team and the players, but from their fans. And maybe internally there's some, we're getting the short end of the stick. But I don't think that permeates the locker room. Mike Tomlin won't allow that to happen. I think every team feels they're being picked on. Look at the Denver Broncos, Dan. They petitioned the league every which way they could to try and do something about that quarterback situation, and it didn't happen. And so, yeah, in Pittsburgh, they think Baltimore's getting an advantage, and in Baltimore, they think they're getting screwed.
When was the last time you covered a Steeler team that had this, least dramatic Steeler team in how many years?
Well, it's funny because every year it seems to come up. I don't think there's any question, Dan, that 2 years ago with the Le'Veon Bell situation and the Antonio Brown situation, I don't think that drama could ever be surpassed no matter what happens. And I think because the Steelers are such a marquee team, and as you know, being in the business, they are a team that moves the needle. And because of that, they receive a lot of attention. It's also because they tend to have a lot of the game's top stars. So, and go back to Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. So when those situations arise, they get magnified and people pay attention because it is the Steelers. And so there always seems to be this cloud of drama surrounding them. But let's face it, when you look at their performance and their record, Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season in 14 years. It's pretty amazing. It's testament to him and to the organization that they kind of ferret their way through that and still manage to be successful.
Are they a balanced team or are they a defensive-minded team?
Well, the funny thing right now, Dan, aside from the fact that they don't run the ball very well, their offense is as good as it's been. I mean, they're the only team in the AFC to score 24 or more points in every game. Even Kansas City can't say that. Ben Roethlisberger is having arguably his best season, certainly statistically. And the run defense has actually suffered the last 3-4 weeks. I think they're a very well-balanced team. They're a team that can score points. And to me, Dan, they are the one team in the league that is equipped to stop any of these other offenses, including Kansas City's. Now, I'm not saying they will, but they are equipped to do it because, they have all pros at all three levels. They sack the quarterback. They have a larcenous secondary. They take the ball away. And, yeah, they're missing Devin Bush. I thought that was a big, big loss because I thought he was the one player they could least afford to lose because they don't have anybody else like him. But when you look at Cam Hayward and Stephon Tuitt up front, and you got those two edge guys, Watt and Dupree, and then a really solid secondary with Minkah Fitzpatrick, they're equipped to play however you want and to bottle up a team as well as anybody in the league can do it.
When does the possibility of an undefeated season become a legitimate topic for the players to talk about?
I think Buffalo. Once if they can get past that in a couple of weeks, see what happens with the Ravens. Then they have Washington, and I know Washington's been scoring some points lately, but they are 4-7. Then they go to Buffalo, and I think, I think that will be the key. They could be 12-0 going to Buffalo, and if they come through that at 13-0. Then I think it becomes a very real possibility because then it's the Colts, and then it's the season-ending game. And let's say the bye is still in place, nothing has changed, and they get a bye week. Then what do you do in Week 16? Do you go for an unbeaten season, or do you back off a little bit? I've talked to a couple former coaches around the league, and they all think it's probably a good idea if they lose a game somewhere. I tend to agree, just to get the specter and the pressure of an unbeaten season off their back, and then start focusing on the postseason. So, but I think 2 or 3 weeks here when they head to Buffalo is going to be the key, Dan.
Great to talk to you, Gerry. Thanks for making time. Have fun today. We appreciate it.
Well, Dan, nice chatting with you.
Gerry Dulac, he covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.